Hey, shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakavadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessing and high creation to the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel, brother from the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, this is just a lesson through the Spirit. I found this interesting by AWS. And I actually did the cross-reference and I actually checked on the information. And it was actually accurate. And you can read here in the title's description, it says, Zombies, what does the AWS, which is Amazon, terms and service mention human corpses reanimating and collapsing of civilization. Because this guy, Jeff Bezos, which is the head and founder of what they call Amazon, a a billionaire, all right, has basically came out and said society is on the brink of collapse. Okay, you had a couple of guys that spoke on this, and I found it rather interesting. So I got two videos that I want to play. This one being Zombies, why does the terms of service mention human corpses? And then you have a widespread outage hits Amazon servers again, okay? Because Amazon, I believe this is like their second or third outage within the last couple of weeks. Which one we just had, what's today? Wednesday, we had one, I want to say like Friday or Thursday. And all of a sudden, this information came out. Okay, I think it was like December 10th, they updated their service announcement, so to speak. So anyway, I'm gonna play this video, and it shows you that we're in those times. Okay, so movies like Walking Dead, 28 weeks later, 28 days later, it's not far-fetched that you have particular corpses that could be reanimated, prevalent on some type of biological attack, some type of ingredient, as we know as the JAB, or whatever it may be. All right, but we know that they don't put these things in movies and video games just because it sounds good. Like back in 2012, the military had a protocol about a zombie apocalypse, and coincidentally, it just resurfaced back on the CDC's website, I believe earlier this year. And the military had been talking about it, had been conducting drills about this particular scenario. So it's not far-fetched, but you know, like the people, everything goes over their head because they're uninformed. And not only uninformed, they don't want to be informed. Okay, it's a difference between being ignorant and willfully ignorant. Like the scriptures say, those that are willfully ignorant, man. Okay, and that's the 2/3 of our people. You know, which some people may have a receptive ear, but no matter what, they go back into doing their own thing. So I'm gonna play this video and two videos, and I may interject here and there, but got a few precepts. Lord's will this be edifying. So here we go.
This is Dabu7. We've been hearing about zombies and crazy stuff like that for quite some time, and coming out of some weird places, like their whole zombie preparedness stuff that they were kind of thrown out right in front of us. Well, we've got a little bit more here. It's kind of odd. Wanted to share it with you. I got to give a shout out to Lisa and Richie on this one. This is talking about human corpses reanimating and seeking out human tissue to survive. Blood, nerve, brain, and all that in an event that is labeled as such by the CDC. This gets crazy. I know it seems kind of wild, but I'm going to take you over here to Amazon's terms of use, their newest updates. This happened yesterday. The update came out yesterday. If you scroll down to Amazon's terms of use and go to 4210, in the middle of all this talk of technological stuff, data collection, software use, setting up gaming, and doing all this other stuff, they start speaking about the use of lumberyard materials. So real quick, what is lumberyard? Lumberyard is a freeware cross-platform game engine developed by Amazon, and it was based on Cry Engine, released in 2002, and they've tweaked it since. Nowhere in here does this say anything about zombies, about reanimation of anything.
All right, and the point casing, when he mentioned the particular article on this website, what that's under, is actually true because I checked it out. You see what I'm saying? So that actually is true, and I'm actually going to it. I had it highlighted, but I went to the website myself, and I read those particular things. Now, whether it's credible or not, the fact that they put this on a website and it's pretty much halfway or mid to the end of the page. So usually when they put particular clauses like that or certain information in the midst of these particular bullet points, usually it's something with that. Same thing back when this guy Obama, man, he passed that healthcare bill back in, like, I believe 2000, I think it was like 2011, 2012. Basically the implantable, you know what, that was basically in the middle of that bill, and nobody's gonna read through a fucking 1,000 pages to look for it. So if you didn't know where it was at, then you was gonna miss it. Same thing with this. You see what I'm saying? So if it was just unimportant, they would have put it there. That would have been the first thing you would have read. But see, Esau likes to hide things in plain sight, because majority of the people, they're not gonna read, and their attention span is, yeah, right. Okay, people are too chemically induced in order for them to even focus on what's in front of them. Okay, and we all suffer from that from a degree. But anyway, I wanted to make that point. I'm gonna let him finish.
It's talking about setting up for gaming and streaming to Twitch and doing things like that, and using different devices. It has NVIDIA Shield in here. It talks about all that type of stuff. The terms of use talk about pretty much the same thing, about all the stuff that you got to go through if you want to use their service. So why is it at 4210 out of nowhere they say that to use this, the lumberyard materials are not intended for the use of life-critical or safety-critical systems? It goes on to say autonomous vehicles, aircraft control, nuclear facilities, manned spacecraft, military use in connection with live combat. And it says, however, and this is where it's crazy, the restriction will not apply in the event of the occurrence certified by the United States Center for Disease Control or a successor body of a widespread viral infection.
I'm gonna cut it there, man, because the fact that he said that'll get, you know what I'm saying, that's a red flag. That's twice he mentioned that. And they may not mess with him, but us on the other hand, it's a different ballpark. Okay, we can't just openly say that, you know what I'm saying, which made me think, yeah, he brings out good information, but it makes me think if he's really set up too. You know, we just neither here nor there. But regardless, I'm gonna read that, but not as he did, and I'm gonna end it at that one. But I'm gonna play the next video. But y'all get the gist of what he's saying, man. And hey, it's something big is getting ready to go down here, because like I said, coincidentally, they had another widespread outage. So I'm just assuming that they're updating more and putting more hidden information within these particular outages, because usually when they have outages, then they go behind the scenes and they start conducting other wickedness, so to speak. So I'm gonna play this other video, and then
this is your financial advisor, your Uncle Jim. He knows everything about the stock market, just like he knows
exactly what's going on.
Time too. So
this is Dabu7. We are getting reports now of a rather widespread outage from Amazon Web Services that is stretching at least across the United States. We have a lot of reports coming in over on Down Detector stating that this is the case. Most people having server issues. Now, this has affected quite a few different places. When we look at Down Detector over here, trying to get a beat on exactly what's going on, we can see Amazon itself and their website is affected, like 70% saying that the website is not working. Zoom is having issues. Xbox Live, Patreon, Salesforce. Most of the people that are complaining that I see are having big time issues with their sales stuff. EA, Chegg. I mean, it goes on and on. T-Mobile, Google, AT&T, Call of Duty, Cox, Minecraft, Ring, CenturyLink, dozens, Twitch, DoorDash. All kinds of networks affected by this. So if you're seeing glitchiness out there, or you cannot connect to certain things, once again, we have what they're dubbing an issue with Amazon Web Services. This may be something much bigger. I've been talking about this on the live streams and warning about this. We actually just had another big hacking type of incident or malware incident where they're saying millions of computers are infected and the people are kind of sleeping on it. Well, any day now we're going to wake up to the banks crumbling, to lights out, you name it. And I wonder, after all these years of warning, how many people have a...
And that's the point, something big. This guy Bezos said that the collapse of society is imminent. And coincidentally, they're doing all these outages. And what I really wanted to focus on was the fact that this whole zombie thing, and this guy Tavon Sanders, he said they're editing out that part about the zombie apocalypse, LOL. But hey, it could be the truth. Who knows? But I went on there earlier. That information was still readily available. But who knows? But I wouldn't doubt it, because like I said, this man Esau, he's a damn devil. He's the devil that the Bible talks about. All right, so let's go all the way down and look. Peep this, right? Look how far in the middle of the page it is. I got to go halfway down to the end of this pamphlet in order for this to even be known. Okay, so it was 42 and I believe it was, there we go, I had it highlighted. All right, so it says here the restrictions. Matter of fact, let's start over. This is what he was reading, but it says acceptable use of safety critical systems. Your use of lumberyard materials must comply with the AWS acceptable use policy. It says lumberyard materials are not intended for use with life critical or safety critical systems, such as use in operations of medical equipment, automated transportation, systems, autonomous vehicles, aircrafts or air traffic control, nuclear facilities, manned spacecrafts, or military use in connection with live combat. However, this restriction will not apply if the event of the occurrence certified by the you-know-what or successor body, which is another government entity, it says of a widespread and you-know-what transmitted via bites or contract with bodily fluids that causes human corpses to reanimate. Okay, now you look at The Walking Dead, what happens? You bit, then you're reanimated, then before you know it, you're under demonic possession. Okay, so these people that took the you-know-what, who knows what's going to happen to them in a year or two? Who knows? But one day we're going to wake up, and there's going to be some all-right freaky stuff going on. And it says here, to reanimate and seek to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nerve tissue, and is likely to result in the fall. Oh, it says, and is likely to result in the fall of organized civilization. So there you go. So in order to put this thing, this NWO, they need to take out as many people as they can. And what would be the antidote for that? Release a biological weapon, shut the lights off, send in troops, and then reanimate people. That's not far-fetched, man, okay? So I got a couple precepts here because the scriptures really goes into this. This is the book of Lamentations 4, and I'm going to start at verses 10. It says, the hands of the pitiful women have sought in their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Now, this happened, okay, when Israelites were being put down and we were sieged, even during the time of Masada, which was the siege of Titus and Vespasian during 66 AD. Women were literally eating their kids because they had a lack of food and bread, a lack of bread and water. So right now you're saying that the global markets are collapsing. All right, the banks are going under. The prices, inflation is up 30+ % globally. So how much more when the food chain and the food supply is out of whack and you don't have readily accessible to food anymore? How much more when society collapses, man? And this is all set up for a collapse, because think about it, just a month ago they were talking about all these shipment containers out there in the ports that's not getting in. Now all of a sudden they're not really talking about that no more. Why is that? Because it's hush hush, which proves that the media have influence over everybody. Because if the media is pumping a narrative, then everybody knows about it. But when alternative media is pumping a narrative, nobody really talks about it no more, because people's mindset are glued to that of the media, which is their form of witchcraft. It's like being put on a hypnosis when you continue to like they say, repetition is the master of skill. When you're constantly drumming something in somebody's head and you're pushing fear, eventually the people will believe that and they will make their fears a reality, which is what you see now. Okay, so keep that in mind, man. Next precept, this is the book of 2nd Esdras 15, and I'm gonna start at verses 55. It says, the reward of thy whoredom should be in thy bosom, therefore thou shalt receive recompense. It says, like as thou hast done it to my chosen, says Yahweh, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee to mischief. Okay, and what's that? Like we just said, you got this weird freaky stuff that's going to come to pass, and you can read about that in Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 17, about how the plagues plague Egypt, how different apparitions were plaguing the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? These things are going to happen again. We already have some type of ominous type weather in the air. Like, I'm looking outside, it's gloomy as hell. It's like an ominous spirit in the air, man. The wind is blowing because it's supposed to be tornadoes in the area. Got a thunderstorm coming tonight. It was 70 degrees today in the middle of December. All right, so it's a lot of weird shit happening, but we understand that this is the sign of the times. All right, and it says here, and thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword, and thy cities shall be broken down, and all thy shall perish with the sword in the field, and they that be in the mountain shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger and of bread and of thirst and water. Okay, so hey man, Walking Dead, that don't seem too far-fetched. You know, but anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. And with that, Shalom and a ball.